Arc Raiders is set to have its second playtest here very soon. I'm going to go over all the details from the signups, all the way to how those invites are being distributed, when we might see those confirmations, including more details that weren't showcased in any of the trailers. I'll have a full breakdown of all of that, some community mentionables, and potential ties to the finals. We got a ton to talk about. What's up, world? It's Utopia back in with another video. Today we're checking out all things Arc Raiders. Let's just jump right into it. First off, if you haven't seen, they just released a brand new trailer today, but they've also had a previous one for the Tech Test announcement. So we did have a brand new Tech Test 2 trailer, and then nearly 2 weeks ago we had that Tech Test 2 announcement. Of course, I'll link down to both of those if you do want to check out any of the trailers, and any of the footage that is through that, although I will be using all of that as background footage for right now, seeing as you weren't able to take footage during the first Tech Test, so I wouldn't be able to showcase any of that off. Which, yes, that original Tech Test one was under NDA, however, this current test is no longer under NDA, so there is no confidentiality there. You can stream, or you can take footage, you can post clips, do whatever you want, talk about the game to whoever. I will be live and streaming on April 30th, so if you do want to check me out there, you can do so. If you didn't happen to get in the playtest, or you did and just want to check out the stream, you can do so, and I should be live on both Twitch and YouTube. Again, I'll try to plug those links down below, or you can at least head to the live section of my YouTube channel or the Twitch channel. Speaking of that, I know a lot of you are going to be questioning on how do I sign up, what is going on there, when will we see confirmations? So I'll include a link to the website where you can sign up, and this will be through Embark's portal, where it will give you a bunch of different sign-in options. Now for Xbox, PlayStation, it is just a normal sign-up link. However, with Steam, there is a discrepancy there. So those other two platforms, the console platforms, you just sign in and it will sign you up. Where if you are on Steam, that's actually going to be a little bit different. It's going to send you to the actual Steam page, then you'll need to click Request Access. Now that confirmation will look like this. It'll say you've requested access, keep an eye out for an email notification from Steam. However, if you have been accepted, this is what you'll receive. At least for right now, it'll say you are in the Arc Raiders playtest. The playtest is currently not active. Now if you currently see what I see, which is that I'm essentially not in the playtest as of right now, that I'm waiting for an email, don't fret and worry. It seems like they're still selecting people for this week, and I do believe those aren't going to be going live until a little bit later. So those email confirmations seems like they might be going out either today or tomorrow. So I wouldn't worry about that too much, at least from what I know behind the scenes. I'm essentially not getting access until this week, at least that's what I've been told, as I should be getting guaranteed access here, so I'm still waiting for it on my end, and I assume that it will be just a little bit longer for people to be accepted. Now, I've heard multiple things, but I've had this corrected recently, where I do believe if you were in Tech Test 1, you should be good to go for Tech Test 2. Again, I've heard different discrepancies there, that they might be removing people and bringing people in for the other Tech Test. Essentially, originally, if you were in Tech Test 1, that it might bring new players in. However, I do believe now everybody from Tech Test 1 will be in Tech Test 2. Again, that's totally not confirmed. These are just some things that I've heard around and about. In fact, this image here saying that you are in the Arc Raiders playtest, that is from one of my moderators that actually did get access in the Tech Test 1. He provided me with that image, so it seems like he is still getting access for Tech Test 2. Again, take everything there with a grain of salt, but just trying to clear that up. Next up here, if you haven't seen, Embark actually did drop this official document here, which actually does go over the Arc Raiders Tech Test 2 overview. Literally covers everything from keybinds to dates, what's going to be in the playtest. Again, this is an officially public document, and it might have slipped through the cracks as it was over on their Discord server, but I'll go over all the details from that and cover each slide. So first up here, they mentioned that the test will last from April 30th to May 4th with a 5-day playtest. That's going to be across Steam, Epic Games, PlayStation, Xbox Series X and S, so no PS4 release this time. Although, like with the finals, we never know, that might happen. And in the official doc, again, they do clarify that if you played past tests, you're auto-invited. So again, it is officially stated here at least, and so that might be a correction. They mentioned the purpose for this test is to stress test their live servers. They also want to collect some player feedback. And since the original test, which was 6 months ago, they've done that many months worth of changes and improvements. So there might actually be a decent amount of changes there from the previous test. They go over briefly like what is Arc Raiders, the game setting. It is a multiplayer extraction shooter, so essentially a PvPvE, as there are robots that you'll be fighting alongside other players. They mentioned that your life as a raider will be scavenging and gunslinging, where you'll craft weapons from salvage tech and junk, and you can customize your playstyle to be a cautious survivor or bold explorer. Speaking of exploring, they do go over some details there, where there are, yes, both solo and squad up to 3 players. So you can queue completely solo, and no matter if you play as solo or with 3 players, you can loot caches, hunt Arc machines, and survive extraction points. They do mention that ammo is limited, so you will have to bring enough. It is not unlimited like the finals. There will also be a free loadout where you'll start with basic gear if you don't want to risk your rare loot. So if you played other extraction shooters, they normally have where you can pull things from your stash and play it that way, or you can use the free kit option, and essentially that will be on a cooldown timer, at least it is on other games. Not sure if it is with Arc Raiders, again I wouldn't be able to confirm that anyways. And just like with all extraction shooters, there will be a safe pocket, where that anything you store here will be kept even if you are eliminated. Of course, they say risk does equal reward, so harder zones will have better loot. Next up here, they do talk about the PvE element, where the arcs are your main enemy. There can be small robots, up to all the way massively armored machines, where if they are unarmored robots or arcs, you can just use normal weaponry, but if they are armored, you will need heavy weapons. They do also talk about the map locations here. We'll start on the Dam Battlegrounds. It's a toxic, waterlogged area of the full arc battles. There's also a buried city, which is a sand dune covered ruins of the old world. And they also have the Asura spaceport. That is a deserted launch site from humanity's exodus. Next up here, they actually do outline the traders. Now again, like other extraction shooters, they usually do have a traders that you can either buy gear from, or even sell certain gear if you need to. They also do give quests. Might be pronouncing some of these wrong. They have Tian Wei, who is a gunsmith. Apollo does grenades and gadgets, while Lance will have medical supplies. They do have a section here for personal base. As I mentioned, again, you can craft, upgrade, and of course, store loot. You can expand your crafting stations for advanced gear, and you will have 3 different skill branches. Conditioning, which is survivability, survival, which is resourcefulness, and mobility, which will consist of movement and speed. Those are the things that you can upgrade and take care of inside your base. They also do have a black market and the battle pass overview. So there will be hidden shops alongside the other traders with unique loot, where the battle pass can actually be unlocked with raider tokens earned by leveling. There can also be items that are bought with cred, which you'll earn via daily challenges. Now in this test, there's actually 3 battle passes to choose from. That's going to be the Shuttered Storefront, Back Alley Market, and the Secluded Courtyard. So you'll be able to pick and choose of those 3 which one you want to participate in. These are just some extra facts here, basically how long things last, etc. So as they mention here, each match will last up to 30 minutes. Probably will have a 30-minute timer like Tarkov. Extraction points they do mention will close over time. So those aren't infinite, you will have to make decisions there. There's going to be world activities with bonus rewards. Again, you could solo, duo, or trio squad, which is supported. And they have both squad and proximity chat. Absolutely phenomenal there. Now, if you do play for full rounds, you actually will unlock 2 friend invites. So if your friends didn't get a chance to actually make it into the playtest, you will be able to distribute 2 friend invites. That's a really cool mention there. Now, they have the PC specs listed here for the minimum recommended in epic settings, ranging all the way from a GTX 1050 Ti RX 580, all the way to epic settings, which is a 4070 Ti or a 7900 XTX. So that's pretty good for the minimum specs. Those are very, very low requirements. 1050 Ti is about 5 generations back at this point, but it is nice to see that older systems can play. Now they do have the control setup here for both the gamepads, obviously console controllers, or a keyboard. You can check both of those out here. Again, if you want to pause the video, you can for each of those, or you can head to the link down below, which does have the test overview. Moving on, we did have some last minute mentionables here. This first one asked what happened to the Discord server after the new trailer. They said they noticed they didn't have any chatting channels on the Discord. Now, actually, there were never any public chatting channels, so that didn't change with the recent new trailer. They've just never had any chatting channels for the Arc Raiders Discord. Obviously, that's because anybody that participated in the original tech test was under NDA, so realistically, they couldn't chat in there. Although I'd like to see them open up the chat eventually, at least with this tech test. Will be nice to see. Hopefully, they do bring out those channels. We had one more last minute mentionable. Now, this was actually found by a fellow creator for the finals, who goes by Rockon Black. I'm sure you've heard of him before. He's covering Arc Raiders as well. But it does showcase here, and he did find this out, that Patrick Andrin, again, I'm probably butchering that name. Essentially, this person composed Battlefield 5 soundtrack. He is also working on Arc Raiders. So a really cool find here, worth to check out. And again, shout out to Rockon Black for that. Overall, though, it's about cover for today's video. If you enjoyed it, like, subscribe, and until the next one. Deuce.